Crone. 2 wins this season so far for them, and needing another one to make life a little more comfortable. So back to Mallory for the sidecars.
The climax to a magnificent day's racing here at Mallory Park in glorious weather. The sidecar brigade come out on the warm-up lap before they set off 20 laps their distance, 27.4 miles. The crowd has stayed on here in its thousands. They've enjoyed magnificent sunshine, spectacular racing all the way through the classes. We've not had one dodgy race at all. And the sidecars always promise to thrill. The championship standings very, very close indeed. There are 3 drivers, any one of them is in with a chance of winning the title. Rob Fisher and Trevor Crone are there. Crone is the passenger who's of course been contesting it with Fisher all the way through the series, but regrettably today Crone is injured and we do have a stand-in. But Vic Jefford, Peter Hill and Derek Brindley and Nick Roche are the top 3 there. Then it's Vince Butler, Sean Buck, Kenny Howell, Steve Pointer and the Brown Nelson crew in 6th place. But those top 3 are in with a real chance. Across the front row, Rob Fisher and the new stand-in passenger, Paul Hutchinson. Trevor Crone unable to compete. They had an almighty coming together at Brands Hatch last week with Darren and Sean Dixon, and the outfit was almost written off. Mick Boddice, Dave Wells, and Derek Brindley, Nick Roche complete the front row. Sidecars all the way. Number 27 dragging off to a very slow start. Jim Norbury and Norman Elcott, but they get away. They're at the tail end of the bunch. The distinctive colouring of Eddie Wright's outfit too. A very sluggish start for him. But the rest of them go. 20 laps the full distance. They're coming up now out of Gerrard's along Step Straight towards the Lake Esses. And it's number 17 from Kidderminster. Mick Boddice leads. Dave Wells in the hot seat. So on the Brand Bardsley Yamaha from Kidderminster, the 700cc machine, Mick Boddice, a name anyone who follows sidecar racing should know. The famous Boddice family. Bill was his father, Mick the son, through the Esses at the end of lap 1. In 2nd place, it's number 14, Rob Fisher, on a borrowed Baker outfit. He's got his own Suzuki motor in there, but the machine has been loaned by Sam Hamilton from Lockerbie, who should have been a competitor here himself, but very generously gave up the machine to Rob Fisher, who is in with a real chance of winning the title. That's a noble gesture, Steve.
Yeah, very much so, but it's also a brave move by Mr. Fisher to ride another outfit. He needs to be out there because of his championship position, but he actually has a broken right thumb as well, so he's struggling. Well, you would think he's struggling, but he's flying on a borrowed machine. He's stuck his engine in it. It's a big 1200cc Suzuki engine. It has lots of bottom end grunt. It should suit this circuit quite well. You can hear it growling away there, but yeah, to ride with a broken thumb, that's a pretty mean feat.
They're really swarming all over the back of Mick Boddice's machine there. In 4th place, number 6, that's Mark Reddington with Robert Parker. But 1, 2, 3, they go over the line, climbing all over the number 17 outfit as Derek Brindley pops out to have a look on the inside as they go into Gerrard's. So Rob Fisher, Paul Hutchinson in 2nd place. In the lead, it's Mick Boddice, Dave Wells. In 3rd place, it's Derek Brindley and Nick Roche from Bawtry up near Doncaster. The 1989 Formula 2 British champion is there in 3rd place. Then it's Mark Reddington, Steve Parker, Vince Butler, Sean Buck, and the men who qualified on the 2nd row in 6th place, the Holden-Threlfall combination. So the chicane again, through the chicane. I don't know, although it's a 700cc, I don't know how much longer Mick Boddice can hang on to this lead. Well,
Mick Boddice got a flyer of a start. He absolutely rocketed away from the start. And Rob Fisher seems to have the edge on the slower parts of the course, where the big 4-stroke has the torque and has the weight to put the power down on the track. But he seems to be losing out maybe on the faster corners, like here we see at Gerrard's, where it is much heavier, and obviously the cornering speed is down, and on the top end on the straightaways. But he's making up the time on the slow corners at this moment.
Mick Boddice on the Brand Bardsley Yamaha from Kidderminster, using all the track. The sidecar wheel pops up as the passenger's head goes down through the Lake Esses, up towards the hairpin again. Shaw's Corner, it's called. It's bottom gear, hard round. But the Paget's Yamaha of Derek Brindley is really there in third. They couldn't get any closer unless they were tied together. Fisher's just got to get past Mick Boddice if he's got any chance of keeping Derek Brindley behind him, because Brindley is doing everything he knows to get past. He's third in the championship on 30 points, Derek Brindley and Nick Roche. The second place men in the championship on 33 points, Vic Jefford and Peter Hill. But they're not on the leaderboard at the moment, they're not in the running. So the championship looks as though it's going to be between this man, number 14, Rob Fisher, in second place, and the man behind him, number 11, Derek Brindley. Again, we've seen action from these two, but normally the number 14 is a vivid yellow. Yeah,
really, but you watch Fisher around the hairpin, he really slides that machine around. You see the blue smoke off the back tyre as he smokes out the rear tyre. Again, number 11, Brindley tries to get up the inside, but he's got a terrific line through the hairpin there. He's sideways through there.
The leading bike, 700cc Yamaha. Brindley is out of the slipstream of the big Suzuki, but the big Suzuki knows it has to get through. It's looking hard now at Mick Boddice. So Mick Boddice from Kidderminster in Worcestershire with his passenger Dave Wells certainly has the speed down the back straight. Where he does seem to suffer, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, but looking through, it's not as nimble through the turns, the number 17 outfit.
No, it doesn't seem to brake quite as well, always quite as quick through the slow turns, but it is a big four-cylinder 700cc two-stroke Yamaha engine. Very, very powerful, producing something in the region of 130, 140 brake horsepower, and sticking it through that big fat tyre. But I just can't get over Rob Fisher. He's got a terrific way through that hairpin, but he's going to lose out here, yes, and Brindley's gone through. Brindley's nipped up the inside there.
Well, I always seem to hand to you, Steve, at the good bits. And there, a great overtaking move there by Derek Brindley, up to second. So Brindley now up to second. Rob Fisher can see his 10 points evaporating now. He was on, hopefully, for 10, but he is on a borrowed machine and certainly doesn't want to do anything silly with it. They cost an awful lot of money. If you bend a borrowed bike, presumably, you have to pay for it.
Yeah, you end up owning it at the end of the meeting, I think. But he also has a broken thumb, as we spoke about earlier, so he may be just out there to get as best position as he can. There's no point in crashing out and getting no points at all. But he's having a great ride at this moment.
Boddice was really close there, as through to the front goes Brindley. So the Paget Yamaha in the hands of Derek Brindley and Nick Roche. Nick Roche was the man who stood in at the TT this year with Dave Saville to 2 wins. Nick Roche, a highly experienced, highly competent and a very, very brave passenger indeed. Nick Roche, number 11, he's there. He's in the lead, passengering the flying outfit of Derek Brindley. In second place now, it's still number 17, Mick Boddice with Dave Wells. Some distance behind now, Rob Fisher could be settling for third. The sidecars too go to Donington at the end of September for the final round. The machine having expired by the side of the track there in a big cloud of smoke, but the race goes on.
It just goes to show how the agility comes into this racing, because at the moment we have a 500cc engine machine in front. I was about to say, yes, we still do have a 700cc in second place and a 1000cc in third place, so it's all really about what's an agile machine to throw around these corners, and the lighter it is, the better you can brake and the later you can brake.
The battle between second and third is allowing Derek Brindley to get away, and up into second now, squeezing every ounce of power out of the big 1100 Suzuki goes Rob Fisher. So Rob Fisher now into second with a clear track ahead of him, with the exception of Derek Brindley, who has something like 100 metres as they go down the back straight. Brindley now is approaching the S's. Derek Brindley, number 11, just 21 years of age, a computer programmer. What a brilliant ride for him. Of course, brother Barry, the more experienced of the family, the back end sliding round, just throwing caution to the wind, but masterful control.
Yeah, I think he was showing off there. That was terrific. It really looked good. He went in there real hot, very fast, got the power on. The thing is, if you can get the wheel spinning, you don't have to use the clutch, and that can save having clutch problems, because if you're trying to slip the clutch and you've got 140 horsepower that's going through it, can burn the clutch out. So the answer is to get the rear wheel spinning and use that as a clutch.
Yellow flag being shown around the circuit because 1 or 2 retirements we do have parked up on the grass. That means that Brindley has to exercise just a little bit of caution as he forces relentlessly on his way through the S's. Derek Brindley, Nick Roche coming into sight now and back in front. So back in front of Fisher has gone Mick Boddice. So Mick Boddice is not having any of it. He's not letting the big Suzuki fly past as Derek Brindley wheel spins out of the hairpin, throws it in sideways, scrubs off the speed, puts the power on, and back again goes Fisher. So Fisher and Boddice, Boddice and Fisher, which one is it? They come out now towards the Devil's Elbow. The sidecar passenger throws his weight left, lets the back wheel just power it round, and the length of the straight is about the lead that Brindley has as he goes into Gerrard's with the back marker ahead.
Well, Fisher watched the way that Boddice passed him 2 laps previously, and exactly the same thing to Boddice. So he just came out the hairpin a little bit faster and managed to get on the inside line going into the chicane, the bus stop chicane. So a nice manoeuvre. Now he'll be making himself as wide as possible, keeping a tight line wherever he can, and making Mick Boddice go the long way round if he can get round.
The outright lap record for motorcycles here is in fact held by a sidecar outfit. Steve Webster and his then passenger Tony Hewitt last year went round in 50 seconds dead. That is a record speed faster than any of the solos, 98.64 miles an hour, and that was exactly a year ago in 1989. That record has not been approached today. They didn't get anywhere near it in qualifying. There were some 2 seconds off the pace. But let's face it, Webster, 3 times world champion, is the very best in the world. And again, number 17, Mick Boddice, goes past Fisher and Paul Hutchinson into the S's. That must be very frustrating.
Yeah, with a big outfit of Fisher's, it's not the hub centre steering type of system that Boddice is on, and it does understeer a lot more. That means it pushes the front wheel. It won't go around the corner quite as quick, and he's struggling, and especially on this tight circuit. But you see he takes a wide outside line. He'll be trying to get on the inside, but he can't do it. Boddice holds the inside line. That's the only way to get through the bus stop first. So now he'll be hard on the power, 140 brake horsepower, transmitted through that big 7-inch rear wide tyre.
Second and third. The leader now sailing happily on his way, having a lovely ride all on his own, but there's a tail ender ahead. So number 11, Derek Brindley and Nick Roche, well into the race now with this tail ender coming up through the S's towards the hairpin again. It looks to me as though it's Phil Belmont and Dave Elliott. I'll see as soon as I can get the number, give you some idea. If it is 38, then it's Phil Belmont. It is indeed. Phil Belmont and Dave Elliott, they've been lapped by the leader, and there are still more tail enders ahead as we await now the second and third place men. But the leader now well over the line on his way. Apparently, Steve, nobody can steal this from Derek Brindley. He really is invincible now.
No, he looks to have the whole matter under control and very much in charge of it. He can afford to slacken the pace a little more, but that's more than can be said for Mick Boddice, because Mr. Crone is right with him and he's not giving in at all. There was a few telltale puffs of smoke out of the Rob Fisher machine. I hope we haven't got a problem here.
Well, in fact, Mick Boddice had a bit of a glance over the right shoulder there. I don't know whether that was just to ascertain where Rob Fisher was, but this is the race leader still, on his way to 10 points, and he picks up the 10 points, and it looks as though he does. He'll move on to 40, and if Rob Fisher picks up 8 points for his third place, he will move on to 44. So Rob Fisher will go to Donington, still 4 points in the lead. But what a tremendous duel that's going to be when we get to Donington between the big Suzuki. And any guesses with regard to Donington Park, which one of these would win?
Well, I would have thought under normal circumstances Rob Fisher's machine would have been at its best on this short, tight circuit, and it would have worked well, but it isn't his own machine. He is injured, so I don't think we're seeing the best of Rob Fisher at the moment. So anyone can say, but Donington Park, I think it'll be pretty evenly matched.
And the thing we overlooked, of course, Steve, that he's got a stand-in passenger in there, not the regular passenger who's injured. And Paul Hutchinson doing an absolutely first-class job. My hat's off to him, because it ain't easy. By no stretch of the imagination is that an easy job to hang in there the way he does. And you're being thrown constantly right, left. The acceleration, the brakes are on, the buffeting, and the G-forces are just threatening to throw you clean out of the machine. They're now past the tail ender, but still second and third place battle between Mick Boddice and Rob Fisher. and my guess is that Rob Fisher will just about squeeze a bit, and he has, going down towards Gerrard's. No, he hasn't, he's on the inside now. It looked as though he was past there, but no way, said Nick Boddice, and Boddice still leads. Derek Brindley into the S's again, coasting home now to this one. The crowd absolutely loving it. Further down the order, in 5th place, number 35, Vic Jefford and Peter Hill. They are lying in 2nd place in the championship, so they will pick up some points. The asphalter from Leyburn in North Yorkshire will collect some points for his trouble, but not enough, I have to say, to win him the title if these two keep going the way they are. And look at that titanic struggle for 2nd with the tail ender ahead.
Yeah, Rob Fisher seems to get on the power coming out of Devil's Elbow there and gets a bit of a run. You see a little puff of blue smoke again. I hope he hasn't got an engine problem. I'd like to see him finish his race, but the big 4-stroke Suzuki is obviously hotting up under these conditions. But yeah, terrific job done by Paul Hutchinson. It's a new driver for him and vice versa, and it takes a long while to get accustomed and acquainted to your driver or your passenger. So I think under the circumstances they're doing a great job.
The Paget's livery very evident through the S's. Very stylish on that sharp right-hand bottom gear bend. They throw it round, get the back wheel spinning, as Steve Parrish said, and it does at least save the clutch. They spin out on the rubber rather than on the clutch plate. So, over the right-hand side, reaching for the handhold on the very fast Gerrard's Bend. Hanging on for all he's worth. Nick Roach, the hand down, on the step straight, tucks down, down goes the head, out of sight. When he hears the outfit change down, up he pops again for the right-hander. He knows the circuit, knows which way to go, out for the left, and just watch this, copybook stuff at the right-hander.
Yep, you can see him rev as he goes in there, he hooks it right down into bottom gear, turning on the power, the machine revving something like 11 or 12,000 RPM as it wheel spins its way out the corner, and it doesn't do the tyre any good, but the tyre can take it. And as Barry said earlier, it relieves the strain on the clutch plates and allows him to continue hopefully, but it also does put a lot of heat into the tyre, which makes it even grippier.
A glimpse of a tail ender ahead of Derek Brindley, and unless I'm mistaken, it looked like the conspicuously coloured outfit of Eddie Wright. I could be wrong, yes I am wrong, but you can't be right all the time. And just a glimpse of it there, it is another tail ender as soon as we pick the number up, but Eddie Wright's in there somewhere. There is some very bright red, and we keep getting glimpses of it. Number 40, the tail ender there, Roger Bodie and Andy Peach. So, number 40, Roger Bodie, about to be lapped, having the fright of his life as the race leader goes through. Roger Bodie qualified in 13th place, so the gap now between the race leader as he starts his last lap and the 2nd place man almost 12 seconds, and as they get round in a little over 50 seconds, he has almost a quarter of a lap advantage. A brilliant ride by Derek Brindley, an equally brilliant ride by his passenger Nick Roche. The crowd here has not been disappointed with what has turned out to be another thrilling sidecar race. This is round 6 of the Supercup Championship with 1 round to go. Brindley up to the hairpin. Steve, a last word from you on what we've seen today.
Well, just superb racing, and we're about to see Mr. Brindley just cap it all with a lovely win. But it's been a fantastic weekend's racing, and well done to Mr. Brindley on a terrific ride. 12 seconds in front. That takes a lot of doing when you're lapping around this circuit at only 50 seconds. It's like having a massive lead on a normal size circuit.
Nick Boddice gets the verdict for 2nd place, pushing Rob Fisher down into 3rd, but Rob Fisher still will lead the championship. They could really do nothing about the flying Derek Brindley, number 11. What a tremendous victory. Almost a start to finish, but they came from 3rd, fought through, and from the 5th lap, they never looked back. A great win by Derek Brindley and Nick Roche.
And that's another competition that's set for an interesting climax in the final round at Donington. Rob Fisher, Derek Brindley and Vic Jefford all contesting the title, and we'll be there. And at Donington